I accept that.
Sure.
But here's the thought experiment. Can you explain to me, all right, why it is immoral to murder President Trump? From their, forget their perspective. Explain it to me. Explain to me why it's immoral to kill the president.
Well, he hasn't done any crime that is worth the death penalty. It's also not.
But they're calling him but they're saying he's waging war and killing people across the ocean.
What people are claiming he is doing doesn't really matter as long as it operates within the confines of our Constitution, even though they're saying that they're breaking his Constitution. It's also just not good to just assassinate people based on if you agree with them or not. There's due process.
Yeah, why not?
Very important.
Why not? Why? Like,
why?
So we understand. You agree that morality and legality are not the same, right?
Of course.
Okay. So from a moral perspective, why is it immoral to kill the president? So for the record, I don't want to kill the president. I think it's very evil. But this is a thought exercise.
The way that I like to operate with my morality and what I believe in is if I push it into totality and the entire world operates the exact same, would it lead to the extinction of our species? And so that's how my morality operates. So, like, for example, like I don't support trans people because if everyone was trans, we'd all be extinct. But if everyone was allowed to kill everyone because they wanted to, well, then that would just lead us into chaos and the destruction of our civilization. So that's kind of why I just wouldn't support that.
All right. So why is the destruction of our civilization a bad thing? Why is that immoral? Why is that bad?
Okay, because I live in it and I want to be alive and I don't want to be killed.
So it's personal preference, basically.
Yeah, everything's personal preference, absolutely.
Okay, so if it's his personal preference to kill the president, why is that bad?
Because his personal preference leads to the destruction of our species. Now we're getting to circular logic.
So, no, well, it's not really circular logic. You're basically explaining why every person's morality should just be based off whatever their personal preference is. And if you're doing that, then how could you call someone immoral for wanting to kill the president?
Sure.
So my reasoning here and why I think it's immoral is because God said, "Thou shalt not murder."
Yep.
All right. So therefore, murder is bad. That is something the left does not believe. They just don't agree with that principle at all. So therefore, they'll celebrate Luigi Mangione. All right, for killing a guy. He wasn't. They decided subjectively that this was a bad guy, and therefore they're going to support this guy. All right, they're going to celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk because where's the line drawn at that point? If murder is not immoral inherently, because I don't know, God said so, let's say, then anything could be justified. Then anything falls into the personal preference category.
Hot take: they wouldn't support Luigi Mangione if they didn't think he was attractive.
Okay, but that's not because they think murder is bad.
I know. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So when we're dealing with and like you could play this game with everything. All right, you'll ask your average lefty if incest is immoral, and they'll all say yes, every single one of them. But they can never tell you why it's immoral. Why? Why is it immoral? It's two consenting adults. Why is it bad? All right, and then you just like you run into and I don't know actually. Could you explain it to me?
Can I explain why incest is bad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep it pretty cut and dry.
All right.
I believe that incest is immoral due to the fact that it leads to an unhealthy life of a child.
Okay, so let's say two brothers, no children involved. It's two brothers fucking each other. Is that immoral?
Yes.
Okay, why is that immoral? I agree. I agree with you.
No,
right,
I know.
But explain to me why. Right, this is again. We're going leftoid logic, right? Well, why is that bad? Because it's icky. Is that the best you got?
I mean,
because it's icky.
I'm trying to think how I could explain why it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So by perpetuating family relations of even male on male, that could lead to a considerable outcome of male on female being more widely accepted, and male on female birth of incestuous nature leads to...
Like, are you being serious? Are you being serious? If these two brothers want to fuck each other alone in the woods, all right, without any sort of societal impact, all right, you're going to say that is immoral because what if people find out? And then what if people be like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then brothers marry sisters and then they have retarded children? Like that's really why it's immoral to do
Well,
that.
I don't think retarded children are something to take too lightly, to be completely honest. I'm trying to think of a very logical
This is
way to express.
this is a lot of steps, man.
Sure. You could also say because God says it's bad.
Bam! See, there
Boom.
it is. That's why it's bad. That's why it's immoral. It's immoral
Yeah.
because God said in the Bible, you know, a brother and a sister can't marry, and that's why it's immoral.
It is a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
It's not just easier. It's the only way out of this trap because, like, why is incest? Let's say from the perspective of the lefty mind. All right, let's not use God as the answer.
That's what I was trying to do. Like I know the straightforward answer. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with you completely. Yeah. But understand there is a large swath of people that reject God.
Of course.
All right. So for those people, explain to me why consensual gay sex is any different than consensual incestuous sex. All right. And there isn't really a logical explanation why one would be moral and one wouldn't be.
I believe that every human being is, every functioning human being is birthed with this. It's very hard to explain because, like, obviously you can just say it's the presence of God, but like, I'm a guy where I was born and I immediately could feel and tell what is right and what is normal and what is wrong. And, it's a lot simpler to say because God has instilled these values in me because they make sense. If you go by what the Bible teaches you, it's very simple.
Man is made in the image of God.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think that you're right. I think that people do have some sort of inherent moral barometer. Yes. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what if people are doing their absolute best to corrupt that barometer?
Well, they are.
And now all of a sudden they're celebrating Erica Kirk being a widow. Right? She's not mourning properly. Right? They'll celebrate assassination attempts on Donald Trump because Orange Man bad.
That was the thing that I kind of drew the line with Drewski because I was like, bro, we're really gonna shit on Erica Kirk. Like, what the fuck? I feel like if you're shitting on Erica Kirk, you're just like actually retarded and not understanding that like the whole firework parade thing that wasn't Charlie Kirk's funeral. That was a celebration of life ceremony. But people don't want to acknowledge that because they want to believe that Charlie Kirk's wife is now getting ran through by black dudes because they just want any attempt to besmirch that guy's legacy. Just like how they only just call him, oh, bro, he was a podcaster, by the way. He was a podcaster, by the way. It's like, bro, Charlie Kirk represented what would have led us to a brighter future, which is when you have a disagreement, you can talk to each other and you can communicate rather than just going up and just trying to fucking kill each other. And it's very apropos that he was killed for fighting against killing people for what they were just trying to talk about. So there's a whole lot of that.
I'm with you. It's still like I'm like destroyed over it. It's an unbelievable tragedy, and the reaction is just like it's mind-numbingly evil. It really is.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you realize a lot of these people have these value systems because they grew up in America, which is founded on, it's a Christian nation, founded on biblical values. All right. Thou shalt not murder is instilled in the moral code of the country. Right. Like they grew up with that. But what if we import people from countries that don't have that moral code? Like, well, what if Hassan Piker comes from Turkey and Turkey doesn't have that exact philosophy, for example?
Well, then America is going to be in a lot worse of a spot than it was previously.